All right, guys, Sunday morning, almost afternoon actually, but worked on this morning, got the cab on the trailer, and I'm going to keep this brief, but because I think there's going to be some wind noise, but I'm going to work on getting this unloaded. I'm going to do it on a time lapse, and then we're going to work on getting the old cab off the lift and onto this trailer so I can take it back to my place because we don't need it here. So enjoy the time lapse, and I'll catch back up with you later. Alrighty, so a quick recap. That was a little interesting, I'm sure, a little bit that I got from the time lapse. You could see that we had to do quite a bit of thinking to get that cab off the lift, but we did get it off the lift. We're in the front camera right now, but I have the cab inside the shop in the back part back here. It's on jack stands because I gotta use the stand at home to get the other cab off the trailer. But the next step on this part of the project is to get it back on the lift, and so I can start working on pulling the transmission out. I didn't really want to lay on my back when I got the lift, so this is the way we're going to do it. And I don't know, I got a little bit of time, so I think I'm going to start working on putting it on the lift. But the other thing I got to do, and I'm going to pick back up in a second, but I do have to get the truck home, or the cab home, and get it off the trailer, which is going to be a little interesting because I don't have two other people to help me. So let me pick back up in a second. So old cab is on the trailer, and instead of transporting it on the stand that's right in front of me like I did when I brought the black cab over here, I used some cribbing, like railroad tie almost looking stuff, and that it works. It's pretty stable with the straps on it like that. It's moving less than when I use the stand that I have made for moving it around, but it's not perfect because the rocker panels are just like super crushed from the rust not being able to support. There's no rocker panel set on, there's no floor to set it on, so there's a lot of crunching. And then in the time lapse you probably saw that we had to put a bunch of blocks underneath it that aren't there anymore, and that was just because the lift arms were getting really close to the trailer fender, and there wasn't enough clearance with just the cribbing, so we had to end up setting it up on 2x4s and then taking the 2x4s out after the fact. So that was my dad and my uncle that helped me, but I would have been here all day long to get that done by myself. So I'm really thankful for their help in this situation. And F-150's friggin' being a workhorse over there, putting in the work. Truck's never never had to work that hard in its life, so it's kind of fun. But we're gonna get back in here, and just because I got a little bit of time, I am gonna have to drive that home on the back roads and go kind of slow and be careful around the corners, and so that'll take a little bit of time. But I am going to get the arms underneath this and at least get it lifted up and maybe start tearing into getting the transmission out just a little bit. So I'm going to put you back up on the stand and get you some time lapse. Alrighty guys, this is where we're gonna leave it for today. Got it up in the air and started to deal with a couple things. The first thing I need to do is get the starter out so that I can get to the bolts right back. Kind of hard to see, but right back in there, that's a flywheel. There's there should be, I think there's 4 or 6, I can't remember on the 4L60s how many bolts there are holding the flywheel to the torque converter. So I had to get the starter out, and for some reason I think the motor mounts are like shot on this thing. Well, I'm guessing they are. I would put a good guess that they are, but I had one heck of a time like getting the starter out. They're super tight in here, and had to take all the wires out of it and stuff like that. So that fought me for like an hour. So I'm a little bit further behind than I wanted to be in the time that I had, but this is what I'm going to call it for today, so that next time I come in, we'll start tearing out that transmission, hopefully. But I do need to get the exhaust out and stuff like that. So that's, like I said, I think that's where I'm going to leave it for this episode. Let me know in the comments what you think about the time lapse, because I think that's new for this episode. And let me know what you think about the old strap job on that cab to get it home. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and have a nice week.